everybody. So good to see you. Today, we're talking about self-confidence. We're talking about 3 myths about self-confidence that could be holding you back. So, see if you believe any of these myths. I'm so excited to be with you today. I love Live Stream Tuesday! Today I'm upstairs because Tom's home from school, y'all. He's not really sick, but he was kind of puny yesterday, so I let him sleep in. He slept till 9 a.m., and now he's hard to contain. So, I snuck upstairs just so I could get a little teeny bit of work done. I haven't gotten any work done today. How many of you can relate? Have you had kids home? I know it's kind of like that season to have kids home. So anyways, I am so happy to have you here. I want you to tell me, first of all, if confidence or self-confidence is something that you struggle with. I would love for you to really think about that. One of the myths is actually people think self-confidence is the same thing as confidence, and it's not. So we're going to talk about that too. But if it's something that you struggle with, I would love to, first of all, I would love for you to tell me that. But I would also love for you to think about why. Why is it that some people seem to have a lot of confidence, a lot of self-confidence, and some people don't? So let me know your answer there. The other thing I would love for you to do is to share this out. If you have sister friends who could use some encouragement in the area of really all things life and relationships, share this out so that they can get some encouragement today too. All right, so here's the deal. 3 myths about self-confidence that may be holding you back. The first myth is this. We believe that self-confidence is the same thing as confidence, so we think that we have to have a lot of experience in something in order to be confident in it. And we've been studying this in Life Mentoring School this month, so if you're in Life Mentoring School, let me give you a huge virtual hug and shout out. We actually are opening it up today, so I'll tell you more about that on the back end. But we've been studying this month, and self-confidence is just simply this. Your thoughts about yourself. Okay? Your relationship with yourself, which is just your thoughts about yourself. So here's what I need to know. What are your thoughts about yourself? And listen, here's what I've learned in this month studying this with a bunch of amazing women. We don't have good thoughts about ourselves. We just don't. As women, we compare ourselves to other people. We have this story in our head that if we were just like her, or if we were better at this, or I've always been this way, or whatever it is, we have this story that spins around in our head, and we just let it go unsupervised up there. We don't take inventory of what the thoughts are that we have about ourselves. And those thoughts, you guys, impact your life. Those thoughts you have about yourself become your life. Remember the scripture, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. So if you let that go unsupervised, I'm no good, I'm not as good as her, I can't do this, if you just let that go unsupervised, it will wreak havoc in your life, and you won't be able to create the life that you want because you'll always be feeling in this weird way about yourself. Now, confidence is different. Confidence is doing something 10,000 hours. You know that rule. Do something 10,000 hours, you'll be really good at it. And we get confidence over doing things. But self-confidence is different than that. So this is not the confidence that I have to teach oils classes because I've taught a million of them. This is different than that. Self-confidence is the way I think about myself. And why that's important is because the way you show up in your life for the people in your life very much depends on the way you think about yourself. So if you got a lot of negative self-talk up there and a lot of junk going on, and you're not agreeing with God about who you are and whose you are, that is affecting the way you show up. That's affecting you in a big way, and it's holding you back. So we're going to talk about some solutions for that. But first of all, the myth that confidence is the same as self-confidence. It is not. The second myth is this, that you either have it or you don't. You either have self-confidence or you don't have self-confidence. Wrong. Very much wrong. Self-confidence is a skill that you practice, because if you have a lot of negative talk going on in your head about yourself, you got to retrain that. You've got to be willing to look at that and go, why do I have such negative messages in my head about myself? I used to do this all the time because I was a creative person. And so instead of saying, see how I say it now? I say, well, I'm a creative person. I used to say, I can never get anything done. I'm so scattered. I have a million ideas, but I don't follow through on any of them. That's not a very good way to say I'm a creative person. And what happens is when I live from that thought, guess what? I show up overwhelmed, not finishing things, scattered. I just make that story come true because your brain likes to be in agreement. So it'll just make the stories in your head true. You'll just end up acting out what you actually believe about yourself. And so self-confidence is a skill that you practice. First of all, you take inventory of how you think about yourself and ask yourself, does that agree with what God says about me, that I'm loved and forgiven and adored? And is the way I'm thinking about myself helping me show up the way I want to? Do you think I want to show up scattered and not finishing anything with a million ideas but can't follow through with any of them? I don't want to show up like that. So I have to choose to think differently about myself. And when I choose those thoughts carefully, guess what? I show up the way I want to show up. Here's what I want to do. I know, here's the funny thing too. This is so sneaky because this is something that I've worked on and thought about, for years. And the last couple of weeks things have been off. You know what I mean? Just like off. And I kept saying to myself, it's just so weird. Like, I'm just not getting stuff done like I normally would. Here's what I thought. I'm just observing the reality of my life. I'm just observing that I'm not getting things done. I'm just observing that. But really what was happening is I'm just making that true by continuing to think about myself that way. So I got onto myself. I'm like, no, you're creating not getting things done by thinking that way. Our thinking is so powerful, and how you think about yourself is so powerful. So I want you to be willing to examine it, be aware of it, question it. Ask, is the way I'm thinking about myself serving my life? Is it helping me show up the way I want to show up in my life? So the third myth about self-confidence is this. We think self-confidence means I'm confident that I'm good at things. Nope. You know what it means? I'm confident that I can handle myself in hard situations. I'm confident that I can handle myself in failure. I'm confident that I can handle myself in rejection. I'm confident that I can handle myself. I can handle my emotions. I can digest my life. I can handle even the disappointment that my life sometimes brings. I can handle. It doesn't mean that we just think we're good at everything. No, we know we're not. So you're not going to believe that. Here's what it means, that you can just trust yourself when you're disappointed, when you fail. What do you make it mean? So when I fail, do I beat myself up and go, well, you dummy, you never were good at anything, and you talk awful to yourself? Well, you wouldn't talk that way to a friend of yours. Can you trust yourself with yourself? Can you trust yourself with your life? Can you trust yourself with failure? Can you trust yourself with disappointment? It really just means that you become an emotional. You guys, you become an emotional adult with yourself. You stop beating yourself up for when you fail. You stop beating yourself up for when you put yourself out there and you get rejected. You stop beating yourself up. You stop making it mean all these awful things. You learn to trust yourself with yourself. And I promise you that when you get to that point, you really can do anything in your life because you know you're not going to beat yourself up. You know you're not going to be mean to yourself. You know that you can trust yourself when things don't go well, when you don't do what you thought you would do, when it doesn't turn out how you thought it would, right? And that's so much more powerful even than confidence, because confidence does depend on external things. It does depend on how good we look to external things. How good did I do at that? What are the results that I got from that? And we look at that to build our confidence. It comes from the outside. Self-confidence is something that comes from the inside. Are you strong enough to be kind to yourself when you mess up, when you get rejected, when things don't turn out, when it didn't go as planned? Can you really trust yourself with failure? Can you trust yourself with the negative emotions that you sometimes feel instead of making it so dramatic and so awful? Can you handle yourself in those situations? And that is such a beautiful thing, you guys, because then we're not looking to other people to validate us and to make us think everything's okay. We can look to ourselves and go, you know what? I can handle disappointment. I can handle rejection. I can handle failure. That is such a powerful place to be. A lot of people will say, take action even when you're not confident. I agree with that. I do agree with that because confidence is different. Confidence is, am I good at that thing? And you got to take action at it a long time before you get good at it. So I agree that courage is super important when it comes to confidence. But I would also agree that courage is really important when it comes to self-confidence. You have the courage to agree with God about who you are and whose you are. And do you have the courage to have your own back when things don't go well? That is a really, really beautiful, amazing gift to give yourself. And you have to practice that. You don't come wired with that. That is something that you really have to practice. It's a skill. You have to take inventory. What am I saying to myself about myself? I found that over the last couple of weeks, I was being awful to myself, y'all. And I thought I was just observing. I'm just observing that you aren't getting things done and you're kind of disorganized lately. And, I thought I was just observing that. No, that's what I'm creating by continually thinking that over and over again. Our thoughts are so powerful. To take every thought captive, that as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. Somebody asked about the verse that I mentioned. As a man thinks in his heart, so is he. So how are you thinking about yourself? What are your thoughts about yourself? You should examine them. You should make sure they agree and align with Scripture, that you are loved and adored and forgiven. Yes, you're a sinner. Yes, you're going to screw up. Yes, that's why you need Jesus. All of that. Agree with God about who you are and whose you are. And then have the courage to treat yourself well, even when things don't go the way you think they should, even when you fail, even when you get rejected. Okay? Let's practice it this week. It's a huge gift to give yourself. It's also a huge gift to give the people that you love. Let me tell you this, you guys. So at the end and the first of every month, we open up Life Mentoring School for a brief time. Life Mentoring School is now open. You can go to lifementoringschool.com if you want to join us for February. You know what we're talking about for February? I'm so excited. Your calling in life, your purpose in life, how to really show up for your life with your whole heart. What were you put here on this earth to do? And how can you do it from your highest self with the highest level of love and service? That is what February is all about. It is such a good month to join Life Mentoring School. You get lots of bonuses in there, you guys. The videos from your Best Beautiful Year live that just finished, if you didn't get to come to that event, all those videos you get for free. So many good bonuses. I bet there's 5 things that you get as a bonus. My weight loss course, my building your side hustle course, my essential oils course, my overflow course. So many bonuses to joining Life Mentoring School. It's a monthly coaching program where I promise you transformation. You can ask the ladies who have been in it. It's nothing like you've ever been a part of. Live coaching from me once a week where people come on live and ask questions and I coach them through their real life scenarios. It's like relationship coaching, self-confidence coaching, your calling coaching, so many good things. We have coming up later this year, we have marriage and sex. We're going to have a whole month on marriage and sex. We have creating a home that you love, that is organized. Just so many good things, you guys. It's through Zoom, Tasha. So you get added to Kajabi. Once you sign up, you will get all your login for Kajabi. That's where all the courses live. We do have a private Facebook group. All the coaching is done through Zoom. Grab a friend and get in there. I promise you, it will be the most life-changing thing that you will do for yourself this year. The stories that people tell me are incredible. So I hope you will join us. We're open for a few days. We will probably close the 1st of February. So yay, Amanda. So we would love to have you. I'm doing a Q&A tomorrow night live. So once a month I do these pajama parties. Not really in my pajamas, but kind of. So, and it's a Q&A where you can ask any question you want, like any relationship question. It's kind of like a mini version of coaching, although you're not on live on camera with me, but you can ask any of your questions. That's going to be tomorrow night. I think we're going to do that at 7 p.m. Eastern, but I'll be answering all your questions there about LMS and any questions that you have just about life and marriage and relationships and your purpose and your calling, anything that you want to ask tomorrow night. But join in there. Go to lifementoringschool.com. We would be so honored to have you. All right. Love you guys. See you soon.